من واشنطن البروفيسور شنغن المدير العام للمعهد الدولي لأبحاث وسياسات الغذاء. بروفيسور أهلا وسهلا بك. أنتم تسوقون الصين وفيتنام كأمثلة نجاح عندما يتعلق الأمر بمحاربة الجوع عبر دعم المزارعين. كيف فعلت هذه الدول ذلك؟
Yeah, well, Vietnam and China are really great examples that they've fought hunger and malnutrition for the last 20 or 30 years. Okay, couple of successful ingredients. So number one is the reform of the agriculture sector. So by giving farmers more authority in allocating food production to their land. So land was distributed from the commune or from the government to smallholder farmers. So the farmers had the responsibility, has the rights to use the land to produce the best food crops and economic crops to enjoy, let's say, the good food and nutrition security, but in the meantime, high income. So that was one of the key changes. The number two changes was the technology, the introduction of high-yielding varieties and also more diverse food production. So it's not just rice and wheat, maize, but also fruits, vegetables, livestock production. And that technologies helped to increase the farm yield, to reduce the use of water and land, and to improve the nutrition and the health of farmers. In the meantime, the urban centers, urban citizens were also able to access to affordable, nutritious, and healthy foods. So this is number two, the technologies. Number three, it is investment. So the investment by the private sector, including multinational companies, by farmers, that have helped to further increase crop yields, further improve the so-called value chains to link millions of smallholders to urban markets to feed the need of the affluent and increasing urban consumers.
بروفيسور، هل تخشى أن يترك التطور التكنولوجي صغار المزارعين خلفه؟
Yes, many technologies are scale or size neutral. So it doesn't matter whether it's small farmers or larger farmers, so they will be able to access to technologies. However, due to the limited access to credits, capital, and also their knowledge information, their education are lower for smallholders. So the smallholders need a certain protection or certain support so they can access to technologies. So this has been a very important strategy or policy for many countries like India, China, and Vietnam used to make sure that millions and millions of smallholders can also access to technologies. So technology are neutral, scale neutral, but the smallholders need certain special support to make sure that they can also benefit from these technologies.
بروفيسور، هل العالم بحاجة إلى أساليب زراعة أذكى فقط أم أيضا إلى محاصيل أذكى؟
Yes, well, obviously the agriculture sector has become smarter in feeding the population and also in feeding the increased urbanized population. So the smarter means we use less land, less water, less energy to produce more food. I think the farmers have also become smarter. So smarter so they can access to modern technologies, ICT, cell phones, internet, and they have also have access to certain knowledges provided by, let's say, the private sector, the government, the universities. So it's a smarter agriculture, smarter food production, plus smarter farmers that can produce more with less, more nutritious food, more healthy food, with less water, less land, and less carbon emission.
أخيرا، إلى أي مدى سيساهم النزوح الأفريقي نحو الحضر في رفع الطلب على الغذاء ومن المستفيد من ذلك؟
This is a very important question. So urbanization is happening. Urbanization is going to be accelerated. And in Africa, the urbanization will happen like in many other regions. And the magnitude of the food demand from urbanized Africans will be much, much greater than many other regions, partly because the the young population in Africa are moving to the cities. The young population growth has also been much greater in many other regions. But in the meantime, the food demand, and particularly the food demanded from African continent, will be very much limited by their technology, by their access to water, access to inputs. So there are opportunities as well. So this is a challenge, but there are opportunities. So as Africans are getting richer, moving to the cities, then the smallholders in Africa can use technologies, can use their inputs, their knowledge to produce more healthy, nutritious foods to feed their urban centers. But right now, that chain, value chain or supply chain is broken because of lack of investment in rural roads, in internet, and the lack of investment in the whole value chain, including processing. So some of the African urban consumers rather consume imported foods from, let's say, from Vietnam, from Thailand, in the case of rice, and also wheat from let's say, Latin America, from Central Europe. So we must help to fix that value chain so the smallholders in Africa can really engage in the value chain so they can provide high value, more nutritious, healthy food for African urban residents. So it's a win-win strategy. It's a win-win opportunity for both rural and urban Africans.
من واشنطن البروفيسور شنغن فن المدير العام للمعهد الدولي لأبحاث وسياسات الغذاء، شكرا جزيلا لك.